Hello all and welcome back to another wonderful video. Today we are here discussing more My Little Pony Generation 5 news and information, some leaks if you will. We got a new look at this little book here. We got leaks on it a long time ago, but back then all we had was a cover and then like 2 or 3 pictures from the book itself. And now we just have a ton of more pictures that are in the book, and we're going to scroll through them here real quick, and then we're going to go through the ones that I think are the most important as we go on. So starting here, obviously it's the book cover, then this thing here, nothing special there. Move on a little bit more, we get a little bit of information, but nothing really special. Basically, it's just saying the premise of everything, I guess you could say. Scrolling a little bit more, we still don't get anything too interesting to really look at and hone on and zoom in on and stuff like that, and just say, hey, this is super important, this is extremely crazy and everything like that. Then we get into this third image here, and this is when things start to get very interesting. I actually have that picture over here on a different tab. We can zoom in here. It is Sunny Starscout, and of course it says that they're an Earth Pony and that they love smoothies and things like that. What I find interesting here, right off the bat, this was the first thing that I noticed. Literally, as soon as I saw this was the first thing I noticed. Sunny has like a clone or something. Like, that looks like Sunny Starscout, but it can't be because she's also here. But it also looks a lot like them, right? It's weird, and I don't know if this is implying like this is like a cousin, a brother, or some sibling, or some weird scenario like that. Maybe even her mother, who knows? But it's very weird because it looks so much like them, and it's like 2 feet from each other, right? They're so close to each other, and she clearly works at this smoothie RV looking thing. So it's really, really weird that you have 2 characters here that look basically exactly the same, right next to each other and working together. So there's got to be some kind of relationship there, brother, sister, sibling, cousin, mother, who knows? But it's something, and it's really weird. It's definitely out of nowhere. I never would have expected something like this, but hey, maybe it isn't nothing. Maybe it's some kind of error or something like that. Maybe this is like just a picture of Sunny Starscout from a different scene, and they just stitched it over this one, and both of these actually are Sunny Starscout, and they didn't look at it long enough to figure out that that was a mistake. Who knows? But it's really weird, and I just wanted to bring that up to your attention and everything like that, as well as this thing over here, this little bridge. We have actually a couple of things that I want to talk about. First off, they seem to measure things in either goats or ponies. I'm assuming ponies, but as you can see, there's like a horse animal type thing here, and then it's like listed at 3 point something something. So this bridge is 3 horses tall, which I find very weird. I'm not sure what this symbol is. It seems to be warning of something, because that is usually what's used for that sign shape and stuff. And then of course we have this right here. It's very, very, very blurry, and trust me, it's extremely blurry, but I can make out that it says annual show is what that seems to say. It seems to say annual show, so that's going to be interesting. I wonder what that show is. If we actually go back to this over here and scroll down a little bit more, we'll actually get to that in a moment and explain more of what that annual show is. So if we go to this next image here, we've seen this image before, or at least I believe we've seen this image before. It basically just shows Sunny and her father and stuff like that, probably telling stories or praising the fact that, you know, they want they want unicorns and Pegasi and stuff like that to live together in harmony, yada yada yada, basically sharing stories of the Gen 4 and stuff like that, perhaps. What this made me think of, though, is that most likely this is the beginning of the film, and they have this fun, fantastical day. She goes to bed, and then she wakes up, and she's an adult, and we're in present time or whatever, and she's getting ready to go to the smoothie thing. I'm pretty sure that's what we're going to see for the like first 5 minutes of the film. But anyway, moving on, we have another picture here. Nothing special here. We have this picture here, which we've actually seen animated before, and a different promotional material and stuff like that. Nothing too special here, though. So let's move on a little bit more, and we got this, and I have a couple of things that I want to talk about with this. This I find very interesting because we have a couple of posters here. Obviously this Harry Trotter thing isn't too special or anything like that. I don't think it's that great, but we have this one here, and it's titled Horns, and it appears to be a unicorn, if you will, and obviously this is a horror film, so it definitely shows that, like, hey, maybe there's some kind of whole thing where they actually are afraid of unicorns. Maybe they're legitimately afraid of them to the point that they make horror films about them and stuff. So maybe that's the case here. Maybe that's just nothing. Maybe it's just a funny joke that they wanted to put in there. I also find it interesting that they do have the Harry Trotter poster, because it's a wizard thing, right? A magic thing, right? And these are all Earth ponies in these posters, so it kind of kind of seems weird there. I know it's weird to me, but the last thing that I want to bring up here on this image here is the fact that Sunny doesn't have a cutie mark on this side of her body. It's completely gone. However, if we go back to this, scroll up just a little bit more, just a little bit more, we can actually see that that side of her body should have a cutie mark. This means that the cutie marks are not only on one side, and that there's some kind of weird thing going on with cutie marks where they're not working fully, I guess you could say. I'm not really sure what to make of that, but it almost seems like marks just don't exist because magic doesn't exist, and at some point magic is going to slowly seep back into them, allowing them to have marks. Perhaps at first it's only on one side, and then finally when magic's fully restored it goes on both sides. Who knows? But it's a really weird thing, and this has been a topic of discussion ever since the first leaks and stuff like that came out of this new generation and stuff like that, because it just looks like the marks aren't there when there should be, and then there when they shouldn't be. It's really weird and confusing, and I think we're only ever going to get a proper answer when the movie comes out, and hopefully it does give a satisfying answer, because if they mess around too much with the lore of cutie marks, I think a lot of people are going to be upset about that. But let's move on. We have, of course, that picture that we just looked at, and then moving on a little bit more, we have this picture, nothing special, this picture, nothing special, this picture, nothing special, this picture, nothing special, and finally we have this picture, which is indeed something special. This picture shows us that this little annual show that the thing described is a Cantor Logic show. Whatever that means, I'm not quite sure what that means, but something else I want to point out here is under the bridge you can see a poster of what looks like a Pegasus, which is very odd to me, because this is the Earth Pony Empire, if you will, so to speak, and they, you know, everything we've seen so far, they're against Pegasus, they're against unicorns, they're against each other. They don't want to be buddy anymore. So it's very weird that there's a poster of what is clearly a Pegasus. Maybe it's a phoenix or a bird or something like that. Maybe even a dragon, if you will. Who knows? But it looks like a Pegasus to me, and it almost looks like it could be a symbolism of, I don't know, maybe Celestia or something, but it does seem like it has some kind of resemblance to a dragon just because the wings are very sharp, but that could just be a stylistic choice, who knows. But anyway, back to this Cantor Logic show, you can see what looks like the outline of a character, and I actually went digging in other leaks and things like that that we've seen in the past, and I actually found out what character this is depicting. It is actually this character right here, Phyllis. Now, this means this character is much more important than we thought of before. Obviously, we had this promotional material here a while back where they got to show off the cast and some of the characters and stuff like that, and we got characters like Sprout and Queen Haven and Argyle and stuff like that, and obviously we kind of were able to kind of discern who those people were pretty fast. But when it came to this Phyllis character, we didn't really know who this was or what their role was. We just assumed news reporter, librarian, mayor, any of those three things. Could be any of those things, who knows? But they're there, and as you can see, if I just put back and forth, glasses matches perfectly with the glasses, even the two little things on the edge in the corner or whatever. The hairstyle is exactly the same. This is clearly almost a silhouette of the character or something, and it's very interesting because that means this character is responsible for whatever this Cantor Logic show is. Now, that makes me wonder if this character is actually going to be a really, really good character that is like, oh yeah, you know, bring peace to our community or whatever like that. But I also got the feeling that the Cantor Logic show could be some kind of show about what happened to their society or something like that, and it's going to be used as exposition at the beginning of the movie or something like that. And I find it easy to believe that Izzy might end up crashing that Cantor Logic show, perhaps crashing it with Sunny, but maybe they both appear at the same time and crash it and kind of ruin the show or something like that, and then get kicked out of town or something like that. I can see that happening, but this is clearly the same character, and that means this character, this Phyllis character, has a pretty good influence on this community, this Maritime Bay town. So take of that what you will, and let's move on. Actually, that's pretty much it, actually. But I do want to bring up one more thing. This character, this Phyllis character, was shown one other time in this leak here of, I don't even remember what this was. It was like an event calendar, I guess, but you can see that this character is here again. So this character has a lot more importance than we thought. So take it that way you will, and that's gonna do it for the video. Let me know what you guys think of all this information and all of this news and stuff. Let me know what you guys think of all this. The rest of the book, by the way, it doesn't really contain anything else really worth talking about. I guess maybe this and the fact that Maritime Bay is dangerously close to the edge of a cliff that is very, very tall. So take it that we will, and I do hope that you enjoyed. If you did take anything out of this, or if you feeling so kind, please do consider liking, subscribing, sharing, and doing all of those wonderful things like that. Because when you do those wonderful things like that, not only do you get access to wonderful content such as this, but you also get to become wonderful for yourself. And I think we all want that. So do those wonderful things, and until next time, this ugly face will hopefully not be there, and stay wonderful.